Hey guys, it's Core Ross and welcome to 6 News. Today we have the very first teaser for Operation Shadow Legacy. Sit back and enjoy and we will go in depth on it afterwards.
You should know better than to write me off. Consider this a teaching moment.
So there we go guys, that is Operation Shadow Legacy, which brings Sam Fisher to Rainbow Six Siege. I'm still hoping that there's maybe going to be a tie-in with a new game and this is to build up hype, but I'm not holding out total hope for that. Anyway, let's go in depth on this little teaser. So first of all, we've got the 3 green dots, and this is of course always connected to Sam Fisher and Splinter Cell. And this time, the 3 green dots, instead of being on the head, where we'd normally have Sam's goggles, we actually have these 3 green dots on his gadget. And of course, gadgets in Rainbow Six Siege are of major importance. And this gadget, we know from previous leaks, is going to be able to shoot out cameras. Now, it'll be interesting to see if anything has changed from those leaks, because those leaks came from a beta build of the game about 3 months ago. So we'll have to see if anything's developed since then. But certainly, think of him basically as Valkyrie, but on attack. So he's going to have very good intel gathering abilities and maybe some little tricks up his sleeve as well. We'll have to see what else he can potentially do. We then switch over to night vision. Now I'm not sure if this is just to obviously tie in with Splinter Cell or if this is to actually tie in with how his gadget works or other factors. Of course, these days we don't have night maps on Rainbow Six Siege, so I don't expect this to actually play a part at all in the gameplay. It also could just be that when you use his cameras, maybe there's a green overlay, but we'll have to wait and see if that actually ties into anything at all. Then it confirms Sam Fisher joins Team Rainbow. Of course, it has to say that because it's not voiced by the right goddamn guy, which is a real pity. Of course, Michael Ironside actually voiced Sam Fisher in Ghost Recon Wildlands and Breakpoint, which was awesome. So I'm assuming either he was too expensive to get him in for Rainbow Six Siege, or it is very possible that COVID stopped him coming in for doing this. As Michael Ironside has had some major health concerns in the past, he actually didn't think he'd be around anymore at this point. So it is possible that got in the way with COVID. But either way, it is lucky not to have the proper voice actor for Sam Fisher. And that was the linchpin for me. If this had been Michael Ironside, then that would have been it. I'd have been all in and they wouldn't have to do anything else this season. I would have just been very content with that. But now they're going to have to make up with gameplay and changes and stuff like that to see if this will actually be an exceptional season or not. And also make this a good tie-in, make it for a new game, not just to throw it in there because it's the first season with one operator only. Anyway, back to breaking this down, we have an operator name as well for Sam Fisher, and that is Zero. So, interesting operator name, I guess it makes sense. I would have probably just went with Sam. That would have been good enough for me, but that wouldn't have really fit in at all. So he's going to be called Zero, and of course he is Sam Fisher. Then we have, and I don't know if this is an Easter egg or not, but there is a bunch of different letters that show up real quickly. And maybe that leads to something else. Maybe it's an Easter egg, but it also could just be there for visuals. And either way, it's kind of unusual, but yeah, like I say, it could be something. But anyway, let's bring this back around and actually take a look at Sam. So first of all, I don't think this looks like Sam Fisher at all. It's very different style that they're going for here compared to the last time we seen Sam, which was in Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And I also don't think he looks like a previous Sam Fisher from any other games as well. This makes me think they could be tying into a new game, and this is a visual reboot, but also of course it could just be a visual reboot for Rainbow Six Siege, and that's kind of it. It's just like the artists went a little bit more interesting when it came to the character design than kind of just staying with what we've already seen. Now, the other thing, of course, is no goggles, which is kind of important when you're talking Sam Fisher. Now, of course, we're losing night maps one after the other right now with Rainbow Six Siege. Every time a map gets reworked, we don't get a night version, we just get a day version. So it doesn't really make sense to have goggles on, but I expect, and I'd be very surprised if he doesn't have an additional cosmetic, probably a season pass one, where he has his goggles on. If you want though, he does indeed have his goggles. We've seen in one of the leaks that they're actually attached to his hip. So they are certainly on the character model, just not actively being used. It is an interesting decision when it comes to the design of him because, of course, that's his iconic look. Even in Ghost Recon Breakpoint, when he's not using the goggles, they are on his head. So yeah, not having them there is interesting. But they did have the green dots on his gadget, so I guess they're trying to tie it into that. And certainly gadgets in Rainbow Six Siege are very, very important, so maybe they wanted to make more of a focus on that. But certainly, he looks pretty cool. He just doesn't look like Sam Fisher, but I do like the look of this guy, and I can imagine him running around looking pretty damn cool. Now let's talk loadout. So we know this guy is probably going to be getting a new assault rifle, something similar to what we've seen in Ghost Recon Breakpoint for him using, and the rest was reused weapons at the time, but that was a 3-month-old build. All the leaks you've seen currently for that have been from a 3-month-old build, so we don't know how much they've developed since then. We'll see if anything else shows up, but we can take away that we're going to be getting at least one new weapon, which is good. We've been getting a lot of reused weapons, so it's really nice to have something brand new. And I also wonder what we're going to be getting for other changes this season, but also cosmetics, because what are they going to do for seasonal uniforms and seasonal weapon skins? They could really go kind of crazy and give us something really sweet, or it could be quite normal. We'll have to wait and see for that. But right now, this is cool. We have a operation name, which is Shadow Legacy, and confirmation that this is indeed Sam Fisher. And we should get another trailer in the next couple of days. And of course, the full reveal has now got a date, which is August 16th. So guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. Are you happy to see Sam Fisher joining Team Rainbow? And are you going to play this operator? Do you want this intel gathering gadget? Because it can drill through walls when you shoot it. I'm expecting there'll be really cool ways to use it, like shoot it up through a ceiling or down through a ceiling or through walls that are soft, or just randomly putting it anywhere you want, I guess, like a vault cam. So yeah, lots to do with it. Kind of interesting. Let me know what you think in the comments below and I'll catch you next time.